Caitlin Clark, the only WNBA player receiving over 500,000 fan votes for the WNBA All-Star game. Aliyah Boston, Kelsey Michell, Lexie Hull, the Fever 4, sitting in the top 10 when it comes to WNBA fan voting for the All-Star game.
When fan votes for a single player increase from less than 100,000 to more than 515,000, what happens? The actual issue isn't simply Caitlin Clark dominating the 2025 WNBA All-Star voting. The Indiana Fever are sending 4 players into the top 10, while the player who boldly declared that people watch for her, Angel Reese, is nowhere to be seen. The Fever recently demonstrated that they own their own home, so if you root for them, vote for them in the 2025 All-Star game and leave a comment below with the hashtag FeverFFab4. Let's support the Indiana Fever supporters whenever possible. Caitlin Clark fans, every time they have a chance to show up, they show out. Every time they have an opportunity to support, not only do they support, they go above and beyond when it comes to attendance, when it comes to viewership, when it comes to merchandise, and now clearly, as it's always been clear, the extracurricular activities, the add-ons, the plus ones, the man can. This would really help us. This would really help you. Say no more this, please. Let's try to get these girls in the This Is What You Want. Say no more, and the Indiana Fever fans did exactly that. Let's talk about what WNBA All-Star voting looked like before Caitlin Clark changed everything. Picture this scenario from just 2 years ago. The league's biggest stars were fighting tooth and nail for fan votes. The competition was tight. Every vote mattered because the numbers were so close together. Caitlin Clark's leading, and we've got 4 Indiana Fever players in the top 10, which I think can be expected considering where it is that the game is being played. So I will give people a lot of credit. I think a lot of people, it looks like, voted based on basketball for the most part, and there's a supposed, people keep telling me, supposed second most popular player in the league that doesn't look like the second most popular player at all. Here's where it gets interesting. In 2023, no WNBA player received 100,000 votes in the entire voting process was confined within a much smaller bubble of devoted fans, and only 8 players were able to receive more than 50,000 votes. These were respectable numbers for the league at the time, but they demonstrate just how different the landscape was when the WNBA first returned. When it comes to the fan vote, All-Star voting number 1 is Caitlin Clark, which is not surprising. The biggest, best, and most visible WNBA player. If you were wondering who the league's face is, take a look at that graphic. Fast forward to 2025, and Clark completely destroyed those figures, garnering 515,993 votes in the first round alone, more than 5 times as many as the top vote getter in the entire 2023 process. Not only did Clark win the vote, but she also changed the definition of success in WNBA fan interaction. This year, Clark's influence spread throughout the league. 19 different players achieved the 100,000 vote milestone that no one else had in 2023, and the fan base grew significantly. More people are now interested in women's basketball than ever before thanks to Clark's celebrity influence, which elevated the sport as a whole. Clark received 515,993 votes during the first week of fan voting, making her the only player to surpass 500,000. Nephi Collier is currently at 485,000. Aliyah and is most likely the leader of the MVP pack. Boston should be in third place with 447,000. You wish to know the true meaning of these numerals? When you compare Clark's voting power to other major sports All-Star games, it becomes even more evident that her numbers rival those of established leagues with decades of fan loyalty. These 515,993 votes represent a fundamental shift in how fans connect with the WNBA. These aren't just casual observers who click once and move on. Rather, they are devoted supporters who went out of their way to vote for their favorite player. The engagement levels demonstrate that women's basketball has entered the mainstream sports consciousness. This was completed by Clark in less than 2 seasons. Kier number 2 in Aliyah Boston number 3 A'ja Wilson's 4th number 5 for Breanna Stewart the page. We have 2 rookies in the top 10, Kiki Finn, Kelsey Michell, 7, Sabrina, 8, and Lexie Hull, 9. We have 4 Fever players. We have 2 Liberty players. We have Aliyah Collier, one of the league's top 2 players and possibly the best, and we have A'ja Will. The A'ja Wilson conglomerate continues to support their girl, and with 484,758 votes, she is in second place, which would have broken 2023 voting records just 2 years ago. Since every player in the top 10 this year posted numbers that would have dominated prior years, the fact that it is currently in second place demonstrates just how drastically Clark has changed the voting environment. Although her 19.9 points and 8.7 assists per game this season support the fan excitement with real production, Clark's individual success only partially explains the situation. She is not only well-liked due to her college fame, every night she plays, the attendance and viewership numbers soar. Not every company is supporting their girl, not every piece is supporting their girl, and not every stand is supporting their girl, but Clark draws attention to the sport in ways the WNBA has never seen before. Aliyah, Caitlin Clark, 500,000. When it comes to WNBA fan voting, Boston, as we mentioned when we started jumping out of the top 10, we got Kelsey Plum, okay, Sutta Sabali 2-2, and then at 13, Angel Reese. The voting system itself had to change to handle the massive increase in participation. The infrastructure that functioned well for 50,000 vote totals suddenly needed to process numbers 10 times larger. Clark's popularity compelled the league to upgrade their entire fan engagement platform. Her All-Star vote record-breaking performance demonstrates something more than personal success. Clark has established a new standard for the future of WNBA star power. I wonder if we will see 1 million votes this time around, because I saw someone earlier who said that the voting is actually way up versus exactly where we were at this time last year. This is where the story gets really interesting. The All-Star voting will be measured against what she accomplished this year. She not only broke records, but she also established a completely new standard. Clark's dominance in fan voting created something even more remarkable for the Indiana Fever as a franchise. She was second in early returns in 2024 but jumped to first with roughly 700,000 total votes by the end of the period. One superstar can transform a franchise, but can one superstar elevate an entire team to the level of an all-star? That's precisely what happened with the Indiana Fever this year. Typically, all-star voting distributes fairly evenly among various teams and promotes the well-known players from well-established franchises like Las Vegas. Since fan bases are dispersed across 12 cities, New York and Seattle usually take the top slots, while smaller market clubs compete for perhaps one all-star selection. If they're lucky, teams hardly ever have more than 2 players in the top 10. Something I want to discuss is that, while the 2025 numbers are displayed on the left side of your screen, the 2024 numbers suddenly appear on the right side. Enrique Onbo dropped from among the top 5 vote-getters to 34th place. Enrique, the jig is up. You've been discovered.